she was so lighthearted about everything. I feel like nothing ever, shook her. So I think that that's probably, she had those traits for a reason because she went through what she went through. So I don't know, I think all the people across the country that supported her really made a difference in like how long she fought for.
I want people to remember about Alex that she was a fighter in everything that she did. I have a quote that I wear on my bracelet that she said. It says, keep fighting and keep pushing every single day. And that's exactly what Alex did. She gave 100% in everything that she did.
She didn't want to feel like she was doing less than anybody else. She always wanted to do equal, if not more, than everybody. She loved softball, loved the sport. She didn't complain about it. She was always happy to be there.
To me, Alex is an example of how I should live my life. I think about her every day. Every time I step out on the field, we do prayers before the games, and I always talk to her. Her drive, and she knew what she wanted and she went after it. And so I take that to softball. I play for her. She's my why. And so I just try to honor the game and honor her.
This weekend means a lot to me, just knowing that Alex will never be forgotten. I always have her bracelets on my wrist or something on my glove of her, and the "No One Fights Alone" hashtag on my glove. And I miss her very much, but I know she's always with me, and I think she's inspired so many other people. She's just brought so much passion to this sport.
I think "No One Fights Alone" means that you're just a part of a big family. Whatever you're going through, you have a whole conference, you have a whole team, and you have a whole community that's behind you. And, nobody is ever going to make you feel like you're going through something alone.
It's special, and people, I see people on Twitter all the time using it, like their teammate that is in Iowa, I don't know, is going through any kind of cancer. And it just shows that the softball community cares, and I think that people really cared about Alex, and it means a lot.
It is so important to all of us in softball to keep her memory alive. Alex Wilcox died of ovarian cancer in 2018, and she meant a lot to me because I was going through my battle with cancer at the same time she was, and she would go through chemo, go have her treatments, and then come back and practice with her team. She did eventually get an at-bat and get a hit with her team that season, and it meant a lot to me because I was going through chemo as well, and I couldn't imagine going to a practice or playing softball because everything hurt so bad. And I'm just proud of that young lady. She really fought hard, and we are so proud that they are keeping her memory alive. She meant a lot to a lot of us. Michelle?
Yeah, Holly, it's just an incredible story. And what is always so moving to me with Alex is that every video and picture you see of her, she always had a smile on her face, just very inspiring. Her sister, Cassidy Wilcox, is also a softball player. She plays for the University of South Alabama, and she talks about how much she misses her sister. And I feel like to all of us in the softball community, Alex is our softball sister, and it just inspires us in so many ways. Beth Torina is also very involved with the movement and does a teal walk every year. And there's a great picture of Cassidy and her sister Alex together, and you can just see their softball sisters and what they shared growing up together. And so I think collectively the softball community, we become Cassidy's softball family as well. And Beth Torina does a great job every year of having a teal walk. And she's always adamant. She always asks whenever we have broadcasts, please talk about the symptoms, because the problem with ovarian cancer is that a lot of times the symptoms can be vague at times. And a lot of women, they don't realize or understand that they have ovarian cancer until it's too late and it's already in late stages. So she says, please just continue to talk about them. It's pain in the abdomen, bloating, indigestion, fatigue, loss of appetite, weight loss. And as athletes, as women, we basically understand our body. So whenever anything seems a little off, please go get checked out. And I'm just so glad that our softball community has really rallied behind Alex, and will continue to keep her memory alive in this great cause.
Yeah, and one of the campaigns that they also continue to have in honor of Alex Wilcox is the No One Fights Alone campaign. And I know that's a phrase that Mississippi State will use a lot within their program. I thought that it was just one of those incredible moments that on Saturday, which was the official All for Alex Day, although it was an entire weekend, but Saturday was the main day that teal was worn, Mississippi State actually won 8-3. And Alex, as you saw in the video, she was number 8. So think about just how incredible of a moment that was for Mississippi State, that they won that game on Saturday and they scored 8 runs for her, but she never gave up her fight to play. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2015, actually, and just continued to play softball for so many years after that. And she's just a true inspiration to all of us.
You know, she was a really high-level prospect. I remember, you know, when she came into Mississippi State, reading up on her bio, and she was good. You know, before she became ill, she was such a good player. She was kind of a legend in high school in their state, and you know, it's hard to see someone struck down in their prime when they are an athlete. But she worked so hard, and she was a great little softball player in her own right. Jenny?
Well, and this one's hard for me to talk about because she's right around the age of my daughter. And so when she was going through that fight at Mississippi State, all I could think about was my own family. And so in that moment, I looked to her parents, looked at the sacrifices that they made to be able to have her still live in the dorms, have a college experience, knowing the difficulties that she was going through, but also giving up that time with her to be able to let her have that time of a freshman year in college. And that one hit came in the No One Fights Alone tournament that they had at Mississippi State. But just an emotional time for all of us to be able to reflect on the things that matter most and to be able to take an extra moment to just give a hug to the people that we care for.
And I got an opportunity to talk to Coach Samantha Ricketts before last weekend. And last weekend was actually the first time that they had played the All for Alex game on the road. And she said as a coaching staff, they really went back and forth on it. Do they play it at home? Do they play it on the road? Ultimately, they decided to play it on the road because she thought it was really important for the team to see how other programs celebrate the legacy of Alex Wilcox. And of course, more importantly, to spread that awareness of ovarian cancer and its symptoms. And she told us that Alex was just one of those 5-star athletes. She could pitch, she could run, she could hit, she could truly do it all. But she wants her to be remembered for her impact and her influence through her fight.
Well, I can promise you this. We will keep her name and her memory alive forever in our softball community. We'll be back right after this on 7 Innings Podcast.